Well, Squiffy Baby said I should continue with another rhubarb. And today's is it's June 2025. I have been here 40 years since we bought the bar on Idra. And I'm really proud. I've spent my life in a village in Greece, and I've made friends and I've done everything else. But don't have a pension. I'm nobody, right? That'll become apparent. However, here's the thing. Imagine, you can see the guy's favours, right? A guy's worked all his life. He's my age. 9 to 5, sat behind a desk. He comes to Greece. He's retired. He's bought himself a little plot of land, and now he has the ability to come down and sit in a taverna and everything else and tell jokes and live the life. And here comes this fucking Irish git, right? Oh yeah, and what's your claim to fame? Well, I lived on a Greek island there, right? And I've lived there for 30 years. And I never even ran up a barbel. That's how successful I was. And no wonder they look at me askance. I mean, Jesus. And I say, but you don't understand. You know, that was a big deal. When I came to the island, everybody ran up bills. It was quite something to never have a debt. I mean, hell, it wasn't unknown for artists of all kind to run up barbels. Time to pay up now. Oh, Kyrios Anthony! No. And Anthony or anybody else would, give them a painting. Barbel settled. I mean, there's lots of stories like that. It was part of the love and the character. Leonard himself, for Jesus. I think one of Anthony's paintings was sold and swapped over a card game. That kind of thing. Anyway, so for me to turn around and say in 2025, I lived there and I never ran up a bill and I got to... Of course I look like a git. And that got me to thinking, pondering this predicament, why I've ended up here. And it is, I guess it's because I have learned very early in life, very early on, lots of lessons about why people are human, no matter who and what you are. Here's an example right? I was in the fucking Navy, and 3 months out near Saldana, out near the semi-desert, training, and I was fit, but you are drummed into it, man. You don't walk anywhere. You double up on the upper deck, right? And everything is saluted, and you're in fear of anything that has rank. And it's how armies and all over the world work. It's like don't salute flags and march up and down and all sorts of shite. So get this, my first posting in Simonstown, beautiful old harbour, Royal Navy it was until just a decade before that. And I was pointed to the stores, and there was one guy working in there, and he was only one rank above me. He was like a killick, a leading seaman. Anton von Veek. And he was a really nice guy. The two of us worked in the store. And we became really good mates, and we talked about all manner of things. We loved cars, and hey, he also liked snakes. He used to collect snakes as a kid. Anyway, after a month or so, he says to me, now remember, I'm just a month out of basic training. And, you're not allowed to leave the base, and you've got to be in uniform, and Jesus, all sorts of shite. You're throwing the brick for misbehaving. I mean, it's very strict. Right? Royal Navy, think of that. So, Anton says, come up to the house. He gives me the address. And I said, do I? He said, no, come as you are, right? Come in your civvies, which was sort of illegal, right? But it turns out this house was just inside the base. One of those beautiful old mansions on the side of Simonstown, inside the base. And I go, okay, this is the address. And so, knock on the door, and your man opens up, in uniform, and he's got a gold stripe on his shoulder, like this, Admiral, actually Commodore, right? And here I am, illegally in civvies, standing in front of this guy, and I don't know what my face looked like, but he just looked at me and said, you must be David. Anton is waiting for you in the back, please come in. And I went, and I couldn't salute, because you're not supposed to salute out of uniform. And he just immediately says, isn't it back? Go ahead, just make yourself at home. Long story short, Enid, Uncle Wim Kai van Beek, and his wife Enid sort of took me in. Anton became one of my closest friends ever, and I became part of the family. And there I was, and I'll never forget, about a week later, or maybe sometime there, I was caught coming into the back of the base, and one of those horrible military police types was standing at the gates, and I was being interrogated as to why I wasn't in uniform, and with this, Commodore van Beek pulls up, and he rolls down his window on the side, and I'm being interrogated, and I know in big shit. And the Commodore, in the next minute, I don't see who's behind me, and in front of me, right? Here's this petty officer who's now got me, and he's got it in for me. And he's suddenly, petty officer, are you finished with David? Ja, Commodore, ja. Commodore. And off I went. And I was after that, the military police never touched me. So I had the life of Riley. And then when Anton got posted, the Navy headquarters was moved to Pretoria. This was in like 1978, 77, anyway, 78. To a little base where there was no barracks, no deck, no billets, no bunking. And I had to find a place, so I went and stayed with my mum. Cut a long story short, I got transferred to a naval base hundreds of miles from the sea. Just the two of us, and I lived like a civilian, almost. And Anton and I rented a cottage, each and everything else. But there I was, and Uncle Kai, Vice Admiral van Beek, came to my 21st wedding at our little place in Melville. And there it is. And it wasn't anything other than natural and friendship. And I learned just so many things like that in life. Just wanted to say, a man's rank doesn't make a man. It's a human being's. It really is. That was, by the way, that was a South African naval flag that I klepsied from the store. As you can see, it's the original. How do I do this with that? The old toggles and ropes and things.